welcome everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, as part of our 10th year of the station. Of course, let's go to our friends up in Darwin in the NTFL Division 2 side of things. Of course, they were the first premiers in the 2020-21 season. And of course, that is the PINT team. And of course, tell you what, didn't they smash Tracy Village in the grand final about 2 weeks ago now? They've beaten them by 15 points, doubled their score along the way. And of course, we got 5 very special guests join us right now to tell us all about it. Thanks, all for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, I will get each you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position all you played on grand final day.
Okay, I will go first for them. My name's Amy Sharkey Kirk, and I play forward pocket, and that's where I played on grand final day for most of the game.
I'm Christy, and I usually play in the back line, and I have for most of my footy career. However, this year our coach Storm sort of threw me around the field and chucked me in a few different positions. But for the grand final, I did play in my comfortable position in the back line.
My name's Kayla, and I played on the wing, and that's where I was most comfortable and pretty much all season, and that's where I played grand final.
Hi, I'm Missy. I played in midfield and wing the whole season, but I played in midfield in the grand final.
Hi, I'm Storm, and I coached the girls through the season and the grand final. I coached again.
Now, tell us a bit about the season. Was there a particular game throughout the season that you felt we're actually have a very good chance of winning this?
I reckon the semi-final and probably the last game that we played against Tracy Village, both for me. They were both very close games, and we managed to not let too much of the pressure get to us during the game if we dropped a little bit of composure. When we dropped our composure and we let them catch up to us or get too close, or in the case of our semi-final against the Waratahs, they got 2 goals against us really early on in the game and we played catch-up. But the fact that we did keep that composure and we never stopped fighting, that really, for me, solidified the fact that I knew that the girls could go out there on grand final day and get the job done.
Yeah, that's a great, Amy.
Yeah, and I also think it was quite difficult with the comp and how the teams were improving. You could never really get complacent or where you stood. You always knew that the teams were improving just as much as we were, and you knew each time you faced them, you were going to be facing a different side, so you couldn't really get comfortable where you were sitting in the comp. So it was good.
I think that Waratahs game in the semi-final was like a real all right, guys, I think we can do this. And that was a huge celebration. I remember it was as if we won the grand final in that semi-final because we beat one of the hardest teams in the competition, and they've been such a strong team in all the divisions throughout the years, and that was Waratah.
And I think that was the first game that a team has ever led through. We've always been in front, and I think us playing catch-up was the first time throughout that season that we had to play catch-up and try and, win that. So semi-final was a highlight for me as well.
Now, let's talk a bit about the grand final. You played against Tracy Village, which I believe it was actually a midweek game, I think, off the top of my head. Tell us a bit about it, and how do you prepare for something like that where you had to play for the Premiership midweek?
That's the best thing about DV2 is that our games were midweek on a Wednesday, our whole competition. So I think we loved it because we didn't have to play in the dead heat of the day. We always got evening games, so that was a bit nice for us. Probably the hardest thing was backing it up at training the next day on a Thursday. But I know myself that I love the Wednesday competition.
I think we just had to all take Thursday off work because we won the Premiership. That was the problem. And then decide whether or not to take off the Friday or not.
I think also being midweek and not playing on the same day as the other teams, especially like how it all turned out this year with all the other teams having a win on the Saturday. It would have been really good if we could have had that moment. But other than that, the Wednesday game, it was good not being at night and not heat and stuff like that. But yeah, to have a game on the same day as the club would definitely be something to add in the future.
Yeah, it's a bit bittersweet because you do get that Wednesday night, which I think was mirrored off it being more treated as a social league than anything else yet, but not getting to have that game on the same day with the rest of the club and be part of that 3 premierships that were won for us on Saturday as well was definitely a bit bittersweet.
I think a lot of the girls find it, they love the fact that we can play footy on a Wednesday night, and it means that we're not playing, as Kayla said, in the heat of in the territory. And it also means that you can free up your weekends and you're not always constantly like, oh, I've got footy on the weekend, which is great, but it means you free up your weekends and it's under the lights and it's a lot more pleasant.
Grand final day. Tell us a bit about it. And obviously you actually doubled your opponent's, Tracy Village's score by the end of the game. I think my memory serves me correct. It was 28-13, 4-4 to 2-1. Tell us a bit about the grand final, and is there a certain point in the grand final that you thought we can actually enjoy this?
No way.
No.
I was stressed the whole time. Always stressed. I've so emotionally invested in football my whole life, let alone a team that I actually play for, and I love every single one of those girls that's out on that field and every single one of those girls that's in the crowd. No, I didn't relax until the final siren. Tracy, they fought very hard against us as well. They were a strong team the whole way through. They never gave up. And that's kudos to them. They really took it to us. And I think we were fortunate enough to fight them off in the end.
Yeah. And I think having that game previous with Waratahs where we'd come from behind, like we'd done that, and knowing that they were in that situation, it definitely felt like you had to stay switched on and focused because it was going to be one or silly mistake and it was going to be way closer than what we would like. And I think the 2 goals came from 50. So that was at any moment one little mistake. Yeah. And that's how fast it can turn. So no, I don't reckon until there was like 1 minute until the siren went, it was when, I relaxed a little bit. Yeah.
So you could have kept them to goalless in that grand final.
Maybe.
Yeah. There's been quite a few 50s fines given away this season.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's a thing.
I should use the excuse that some of the Div 2 girls don't know the rules, so they don't like the 50 rule. If you're running through the marks, are quite a hard one to remember if you're so engrossed in the game. But Christy has been playing for 5 seasons, so no excuse there, Christy, to not know the rules.
4 seasons, okay. I'm always playing like a couple of games a year, but no, you're right. I should. But I think there's something to raise is that a lot of the girls don't know the rules, and so I think something maybe next year we can look at is trying to maybe all spend time at learning those rules a little bit more. And I think there's still so much for me to learn.
We'll get to the fine system a little bit later on in the interview. The Premier League, of course, senior women's team was there. I think actually they came off a loss, didn't they, in the lead up to your grand final? How critical was it to see them watch you play and support you in that premiership run? Because I must say it was probably one of the best team photos I've seen, even though I haven't actually seen their one from the weekend. But tell us how important it was to get that support. And I'm assuming you did similar back to them, which we'll talk a bit about that a little bit later on.
It's really nice to have their support, and I think I heard a few times from them that they actually drew their excitement and their like willingness to win their grand final from us winning on that Wednesday. So to have them all down there supporting us, and you know, we went in for a team photo and then we dragged everyone else in, because it is really a big team effort of a club, to have not only the players on the field but all the players that didn't get to make the grand final, but have given their time throughout the season and played throughout, which has got us to where we were, which was in the grand final. But also with the Premier League side, just being around us and taking time during the week on a Wednesday as well, just to add another football day to their week to come down and support from the sidelines. So yeah, it's a great feel being part of this club. And yeah, when you have that many people in the stands cheering for you, yeah, you want it so much more too. So it's good atmosphere.
Yeah, the Pints Club definitely isn't grand finals won by the 22 people that are on that field. It's a whole club effort, and just the support and the vibe that you get from the club, but especially like every single one of those girls that's played through premiers and through Div2. I think they started a chant at like the start of 3/4 time, and we might have just had a goal scored against us. But I remember walking out onto that field at the start of 3/4 time and hearing that chant and just being like, yeah, we have to win this for you guys, and then give you that lift to want to, you know, get on and win your own grand final as well, and make history for Pints Club, having 2 women's team win their first grand finals in 1 year. Just amazing.
Now, I have to ask, who got to hold the Premiership Cup first?
I think it was you, Stormy.
Maybe.
I think
Oh,
you
you'll probably
were.
remember that, wouldn't you, Sharky? You'd be like, damn it, she got there before me.
Rightly so.
I don't know. I couldn't see through my tears.
Happiness.
So how good was it to hold the Premiership Cup first before the rest of the team got to swarm on you for the team photo?
Oh, I think personally, as captain, or co-captain, I should say. Sorry, Kayla.
It's all good.
Where he's still got under there. It's just being able to do it for the girls, and we get to stand up there and be the representatives of those 22 girls first, and I'm really inspired by everyone to be in that leadership role with Kayla and with the rest of the girls behind us. So it's like a kudos to them that we get to, us 2 and us 3 get to stand up there and hold it up for them. So
yeah, it was very much an honor to do it, but I think out of all the moments, it was probably not that one or the team one. It was just when the whole club and all the girls and everyone who's been a part of it ran in and got into that photo, and then that was probably the moment where it kind of like all sunk in. So yeah.
It's just a bit of a surreal feeling. Like, I don't think I stopped smiling for like, I don't know, three days straight, and then I couldn't move because of the celebration. So, but then the following week, when it was the women's grand final in the last couple of days, it's great. Yeah, as Sharky was saying, it's just so I don't know, special to be able to be asked to be a captain, co-captain, and hold that up for everyone, and have the trust and the love and support from all the other girls doing that anyway. So it's good. It's great.
Now, Missy, I can see you're wearing not just 1, not just 2, but you got 3 medals around your necks, which I'll get you show to us shortly with everyone else. Number 1, were you surprised you got the grand final best on ground? And number 2, how do you think you actually played yourself personally?
Yeah, I was surprised. Personally, there's a few other girls that I thought may have, deserved that medal, but yeah, I was very surprised. But yeah, it was surprising that I got that medal. But like I said, this medal is for the whole team. just me. I think, you know, we all did it together. And, you know, Stormy, who's guided us and supported us this whole, you know, season, she's been an amazing coach.
But it's Missy's first year of playing AFL, so it's just a huge achievement, and it just goes to show that you don't have to have that experience under your belt to be a good football player. So she's come away with 3 medals hanging around her neck, and she's just been, you know, saying that she doesn't think she deserves it, but she truly does. She was outstanding all season. She made such an impact on every single game. So yeah, well and truly deserved, Missy.
Thanks.
Well,
just
yes.
her first game, she didn't know what she was placed in the wing. She didn't know what a winger was. So the legend went and YouTubed and researched what a winger does. So she just put in that extra mile right from the start. So she really deserves all of those medals around her neck because she was fantastic. A natural AFL player, obviously.
Yeah, we were actually worried that she'd be picked up and taken to the Premier side, but thankfully we got to hang on to her for the whole season. Well, she went for how many games? 1?
Yeah, 2. I think.
Yeah, a couple of games. So we got worried, but we got to keep her. But I don't know. Next year might be another story.
I reckon it's going to be another story.
So, Missy, considering it's your first season in playing footy, you've won.
Yeah.
You got 3 medals around your neck. Now, I always ask this every time a first year player wins any medals of any sort, which is, do you think now footy's getting a bit easy now? And do you think that you're going to win a premiership every year now?
I hope so. It's a lot of pressure, but I hope so. That's everyone's, you know, goal, to win a premiership. And we've been fortunate enough. We've had such a good year with the club, winning 4 from 4. So that was a pretty special moment. But yeah, it's been an incredible year for the Pines Club, and hopefully we can take it out again next year.
One more year.
And the year after that as well.
Yeah, and continue it on, you know. Hungry for it now.
Now, I have to ask, where's that Premiership Cup at the moment?
You don't want to see it.
It's been some good times.
Oh, it's been everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Where is that cup?
The nightclub, a Mad Monday bike rides. It's been in the pool. It's had many a beer bong out of it. Yeah, I think it's slightly tilted to the left currently. The Premiership one's left it stays.
We were committed.
We were committed.
Yeah. We took both cups to every celebration over our weekend, and our DV2 one we also took to every celebration that we did when we won on Wednesday and Thursday night. It has travelled Darwin, that thing. So yeah, it's still at Chuck's place. One of the Brims girls has it from Mad One Day yesterday.
Now I can see most of you wearing your medals. Obviously, the coach hasn't got hers, obviously. But I might as well get all of you who have your medals ready next to show it to us.
Ooh.
That way.
Both ways.
There they are. Now, the question I want to ask is, how long did you wear your medals around your necks for? And did any of you sleep with it?
I actually did find mine at the end of my bed after Thursday night. I was like, oh my God, I haven't come home with it. And then I kicked my foot and I was like, oh, I think I found it. Yep, at the end of the bed. So I don't know what happened on Thursday.
I think it's lucky because otherwise we wouldn't have them.
I slept with mine on my bedside table next to me so I could right on top of my phone. So it'd be the first thing that I touched in the morning when I woke up.
Yeah, we wore them a lot because, as you mentioned, we played our premiership about 10 days earlier than the other teams did. And so there was all this question about, should we wear them to the game? Should we not? But everyone was just like, you know what? You've earned it. Wear it. Be proud. So that's what we did. We wore it everywhere.
Yeah, Stormy and I and another of the Div2 girls, Lou, we're the water runners for the Prems girls, and we wore them under our water runner costumes for both games that we water ran for previous to our grand final. So there was 2 more games that we water ran for, the grand final and their qualifying final against Nightcliff, and we proudly wore them running water.
Good luck vibes.
It was good luck charms.
They were. Even one of the Prem players would kiss it before a game, just to bring out some luck.
So, Coach, I need to ask you, who was that Prems player who kissed the medal?
Happy Glasser.
Nice.
She's a Prem player. And she'd be like, she just comes up and she's just like, get it out. And I was like, and then she kissed it. Yeah, she's like, I need it for luck. So bought it like the first time, and when they went into the grand final, she's like, Storm, get it out. So yeah, she's adorable.
Obviously now she's one, so she doesn't have to kiss that medal. She got her medal.
She's got one of her own, so yeah.
Now, Missy, we will get you to show your medals as well. Now, you might as well tell us each of the medals that you got around your neck.
The Premiership, I think, obviously. The best on ground and the Div2 best and fairest. They're the same.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's best on ground, and then that's Div2. They're similar.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I'm assuming because, the Premier League girls got to see your team play in the grand final and got you over the line. I'm assuming you did the same back to them. Now, watching it from the sidelines, could you feel the vibe in regards to when you sense when the grand final was won for them?
When it was very tight and there was a lot of stress. Everyone was stressed. There was so much, anticipation for these girls to come back, because that's who the girls were undefeated all season, except for the Buffaloes managed to come up on them in the semis?
Yes, semis.
The semi-finals. And so it was a really tight game. There was a massive crowd watching. Whole of the PINT Club was there. You should have seen the grandstand. It was full of green and gold. So yeah, there was so many of us supporting those girls, and they really appreciated hearing our voices in the crowd, getting them over the line.
Yeah, I think even watching from the field as a water runner, it was a very physical game, and Buffs are a strong, proud Darwin team. I don't think they were ever going to let them get away with it easy. They really came out firing in that second half because they were down still. Even though every time they managed to get the lead, the girls managed to bring it back. But I think being in the change rooms for a little bit at halftime, it was still quite tense. The leadership group like Hendo and Shredder were calming everyone down and reminding everyone why they were there and doing a really good job of bringing those nerves down. But I think because of the last time they played Buffs, their turning point was halftime as well. There was definitely a little bit more tension and nerves in the change rooms at halftime, but they really managed to pull it together and learn from what had happened in that previous game to bring it home.
Your amazing Premiership coach. Now, Amy actually just almost answered this question before we came on. So, Amy, I might as well get you to start us off, and then the rest of your teammates can join in on it.
Yeah, I only have positive things to say about Stormy. She put in so much effort this season for us. She put her hand up to coach the Div2 girls, which is probably not a role that many people at the club wanted or would have put their hand up for. And I don't think she quite knew what she was in for. But she gave us everything that she had. She spent so much of her extra time. She's the first-time coach for one as well. So she spent so much of her time researching drills and planning training sessions and Googling what to do and how to win a Premiership 101 pretty much. And she just is inspirational as a person and a mother of four and an ex-player at Pints and a long-time member of the club as well. The things that she did for the girls this year, I've had things like Stormy gave me so much support. She's so committed to training. Best coach I've ever had. Lots of girls who've played a lot of professional sports. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice as well. Said she was one of the best coaches I've ever had, and she just puts her heart and soul and passion into everything that she did for us this year, and she deserves that medal and that cup more than anyone, I think, personally. So,
yep. We had
dedication. Yeah, you're going to talk about the videos, Kayla?
Not yet, no. But I was just going to say, Stormy and I had many a Monday morning after she dropped her oldest off at school, and she'd pop in and be like, okay, this is what we're going to do at training tonight. And we'd hash it all out and like plan and, okay, but we have to make sure that we are working on everyone's skills. And that game that we played, we need to work on this. So she's just put in so much extra time in. And not only was she coach, but she was a really good friend. And she's very supportive of everyone. If you needed anything off the field, she was there for you. So it's a testament to her because she's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so I was just going to talk about as we got further into the season and things were getting more serious, Stormy would make different Facebook messenger groups of like backline, mids, forwards, and she would get up the team board and she would have the magnets and she would do drills and she'd say what we're doing. And then she was even in the supermarket at one stage and she remembered something, so she had to come on her phone on the supermarket and send us a video of an update. She's like in Woolies trying to be conspicuous, but she wasn't conspicuous. It just goes to show like how much dedication and how many hours you put into those little individual things that you might not think that as you're coming on as a coach that you might expect to do.
And I think as a coach, like we've all respected Stormy. So what Stormy says, we listen. She tells you to run, you run. But yeah, she's definitely nurtured all our skills and, brought the best out of all of us. And, I couldn't have done it without her. Definitely looking forward to every training session and what she brought to each training session. So she was, absolutely wonder of a coach.
Coach, what does that mean to you to hear that?
It means so much. To have so many people say that in the row is crazy. I think it just goes to show how respectful they were as players, that they did listen, because you get a group of women together, there's a lot of noise, but they were just incredible to coach. And I think that Sharky was right. I didn't really know what I was taking on, and then it started off real fun and real social, but then as they started to really want more and need more knowledge to back up their skills, it kind of made me step up and want to be a better coach for them. So it worked both ways. So they see me as that person that's driving them and empowering them. But really, I felt that so much from them, and the way that they just respected and listened and know that I was still learning myself. So it was just I got very lucky with the group of players that I had. I think that's really been this determining factor, is just who they are as people as well.
Now I have to ask, and I always ask this question when we have premiership teams on the show. Now, I know you're not supposed to with COVID, but Did you kiss the cup at all?
Oh, we were like actually. Well, this was really on Saturday night. We were drinking out of our cup, and all of us, and then the Div 2 men had their cup, and they
That's
went
right.
to fill ours up. Yeah, filled it up like a big trophy jug, and we just all drank out of it. So I'm not sure. Yeah, there was a lot of that trophy was just an exemption to the rule.
What does that premiership mean to all of you?
I guess it's just like it's the physical aspect of what all of us have given this season, I would say.
How hard we've worked. We as a team, not as an individual, because it is a team sport, but we've worked hard for that. So
yeah, I think it's a sum of the commitment that all 40, 50 girls that came down and trained and played with Div 2 put into the season, and the heart and the passion and the love we had for each other. I know Stretta says that a lot. One of the captains of the Prem's team, she's all about the love that we have for ourselves and as a team. I think it's just like a really great representation of that and what we put into our season through winning a premiership together.
I think it also means that, the PINT Club hasn't been taken very seriously over the years. And it just goes to show that we are in this just as much as anyone else, and we're just as strong as a team as anybody else. And we've now got that symbolic trophy to show that, and that next year we're not here to muck around, and we're here to do it again. And that all 4 teams this year, we took out the trophy for every single division that we have. So PINT have come from, from 5 years ago. Well, how long's PINT been now? However many years, and now we're winning flags, and no one would have ever thought, but it's just incredible. So yeah, we're not here to muck around, and it solidifies that we're one to watch.
Did all you get involved in footy, and why did you choose it?
I was a WAG officially, which is how I think I don't know about now, but when the women's first started up, I think that's how most of the girls came down. It was through their partners playing. I know that Cassie Henderson, captain of Premier side, her husband Tim was there, and she was the one that got it started with her some of her Nightcliff team that she was playing with before. But yeah, when they first started, I was just a girlfriend. They're like, come play footy. I was like, no, I'm not playing footy. No, I'm a netball person. Contact, not for me, not at all. And then the second year that they were going on, I was like, okay, I'll come down to training. And then it was like the year after that, I got enough, oomph about me. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll actually play a game. And holy, that first tackle, that's like adrenaline rushing. And just from then I was like, yes, this is good. But yeah, that was 2016, 17, I think was my first season. And then went off, had a baby, and then came back to Div 2, and then found my place in Div 2, which I'm love this team and pretty happy where I am at the moment. So that's me.
Yeah, I wasn't a WAG, but I think I probably would have been one if my situation had been slightly different. I wasn't very athletic as a kid. I've been doing swim squad my whole life, but I saw a general theme in my childhood, which was sports that didn't require any hand-eye coordination. But I've been a lover of AFL since I was a kid as well. I was brought up watching it with my mum. She's a huge West Coast fan, up the Eagles for 2021, just putting it out there. But I moved to Darwin on my own without knowing anyone here for my studies. And through someone who knew someone in a very convoluted way that you meet people in Darwin, I got told to come down to the club, and I had the voice of my mum in the back of my head, and she's the kind of person who always would have played footy when she was a younger girl if she had had sort of the opportunity to do it. And so I was like, you know what? The only way that I'm going to have a great time in Darwin is if I just put myself out there. And I went down to the training session, and I don't know if I actually said anything to anyone the whole time, but everyone was so lovely, came over, introduced themselves, most welcoming club ever. And I definitely still have terrible hand-eye coordination, but I've gotten significantly better through playing football for the past 3. This is my 3rd season now. So yeah.
Oh, I can go. I started off, my first season of footy was with Tracy Village, and then I came over after the first year to Pints. My old man, he was playing Masters at the time, and I just knew the Pints girls. They were coming down to training and joining in and doing pre-season, so I met some of them through there, and it kind of had a really good community club vibe that I'd been missing since moving away from home from country Western Australia. So when I came over, it was their 2nd year of being in the competition, and I guess I started football because I was getting too injured in netball, so I thought I needed to change it up.
I started because my brother played for Pint. So that was, back in the 2nd year that Pint was, the women's team was created. And I was the same as Kayla. My brother was like, why don't you play football? And I thought, no, I can't play that. Like, I did gymnastics my whole life, which is an individual sport. And, footy's so physical and it's just so rough. And I thought, I can't do that. But I eventually went down in the 2nd year that Pint Women was around and loved it. And it is physical. It is very challenging sport. And I hate cardio. But when you're running around with a bunch of friends, it makes it so much easier. And I just love it now. And I've always been injured. And so this year I almost had a full season. So maybe next year will be my first full season where I play every single game. Fingers crossed.
Christy, I don't believe that you don't love cardio for a second, considering how fast you run on the field. It's an outright lie.
I hate it. You won't catch me on a treadmill, I'll tell you that much.
Well, you love football-related cardio, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, I started last year. I was pointed in that the Pints direction from a previous player who used to play touch with me. So AFL is so foreign to me because I grew up around rugby league. My first sport was touch football, and I made a deal with one of the previous girls, Ellie Ryan, and I promised her if she played touch for me this season, I'd come over to AFL. Obviously, that didn't happen. Thank you, Ellie. So that didn't happen, and my sister as well, she decided to play AFL as well. Unfortunately, she got injured, so she never got the season, started any of the season. And I remember I missed a few of the pre-season training, and then I went to watch the Buffs and Pints first game, and I just wanted to play after that game. And I knew it was going to be competitive because I knew how much girls that were, you had to fight for your spot. And I was like, I don't know anything. I don't know the rules. I don't know the positions. And I was still learning.
Missy got nicknamed Little Bulldog.
Size determines nothing. Amazing.
But now she's got the new nickname of Dusty.
I've got a few nicknames throughout the season. There was Koala Bear at one stage.
I remember
that was probably one of my highlights of training. Jumping on a girl's back first training.
Always tackling the really tall
girl.
Just launched onto her and just clung to her like a koala to a tree. Yeah.
There's been a few nicknames there.
She had the energy. We knew she had it in her.
There's been so many names, but it's been funny. But, look, I didn't know there was high tackles in AFL or anything, so I actually found out that you could get red
and we don't usually tackle at training either. She just was straight in there. So
I remember Storm saying,
yeah,
I remember Storm saying for round 2 was like, Missy, we've got to get her in. I know she's only been to like one train. She's in next game. I was like, yep, I agree. And haven't been out since.
What does the sport of football mean to all of you?
Number one, it's a lot of my good memories as a kid, not playing, but watching with my mum. And my mum is a big inspiration for me as a woman in my life. She is an engineer, and she's always done things that boys only do. I think for her, she pushed a lot of those boundaries when she was younger, and she's never made me feel like if I had wanted to play football that I couldn't play a sport that was traditionally thought to be for boys. And that a lot of people, when I tell them who got me into AFL, find it surprising that it's my mum and not my dad. And for me, that's surprising because that's just been the norm in my life. And then playing with a club like PINTs, there's just something about a group of women that are like the girls at PINTs that build you up every time you're at training session. It's such a positive environment. It's such an inspiring environment. And it really makes you feel like you can do the things that you didn't think you could do before. And there's so much positive reinforcement around, even if you do something wrong. But being in that sort of environment, in having a stressful lifestyle as well, being able to come to training and be with those girls is like a happy place for me, and something that is very positive to my mental health and really makes me want to do better and want to be better as a person, because I'm around these kind of girls 4 or 5 times a week.
I think, Aki, you kind of said it all with that. And I think that footy, it's definitely about breaking down those barriers for me, and seeing women do things that they thought that they might not be able to do or have confidence in, and just seeing how empowered they are by being physical. There's just, I don't know, it means a lot. And just community. I think there's the club as a whole, from the men's teams to the families, the supporters, the committee, football has brought us to one place. But it's just grows from there with how much everybody supports one another and gets around each other, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think, these ladies nailed the nail on the head. You know what I mean?
Been a long couple of weeks.
People will think you've had a mental,
cells, where are you?
Well, let's finish off with a couple of lighthearted questions about the team. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this season, and what was it?
Missy getting told off for walking was pretty funny.
What is that?
Plenty of embarrassing things happening off the field. Lots of nights out on the town, ripping up the D floor, all those sorts of things. But on the field, what did Missy do? Walking.
Oh yeah, I just remember Stormy yelling at me at last Tracy Village game. Run! And so
you're walking, and I thought,
when Stormy tells you to run, you run. And I obviously must have
3/4 efforts, and then you got this girl, like you were just like this energizer buddy, just like bam, straight into it. I was like, geez, I don't want to tell her to run anymore, but that was worth it. I think the embarrassing one come to memory was, I think it was Lou, who stood on the mark, and then her opposition player was about 30 meters down the field, already played on, and she was still standing on the mark. I think that one was pretty funny.
Mine would have to be Lou as well, where she's like, that's not very nice. And she pointed to
yes.
that is not very nice. Don't you do that?
Yeah.
The comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team.
Christy.
Oh, Christy's the best dancer.
Yeah,
Highlight.
I swear my dancing has not come out that much this season. Swing it back a few years on footy trip at Dundee. Now we're talking. That was when I was renowned for my dancing, but I think that's
Your
been
rep is
passed
just-
over to Jessie B now, I think.
Yes.
Also,
I think
Okay, can't forget Sharky. Sharky's commitment to the team and her little videos that she would upload every week.
oh yeah,
Sharky, you want to talk about them?
Yes.
I don't want anyone to ever know about those except you girls.
you're on the wide
Maybe
web.
no, they just might not see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's another great kudos to Pints and all the girls that I could do something that makes me look like an absolute dork every week and everyone would get around it. I just make these hydration videos to inspire the girls to hydrate during the day, especially on a Wednesday when everyone was at work before our game. And the Prem's coach, Ricky Nolan, was really about the girls drinking like a litre of water every hour, 5 hours before the game.
8 liters.
8 hours.
before the game.
Jesus. Yeah, it was a lot of water, which makes sense for Northern Territory football. So it started out with me just lip syncing at work and drinking water. And I think they got progressively more theatrical music video production-y. Is probably the best word. The one the week of grand final goes for 3 minutes. So
It was the best.
yeah. But yeah, just to be a dork and get everyone to have a laugh before the game is really my aim for those videos. Yeah, get the girls up and fired up. Yeah.
Otherwise, we've got Stormy and Cassie from the Prems Girl who love a good interpretive dance. We saw a bit of that come out on Sunday at Silly Sunday. And then there was a bit of, yeah, I was dancing on Saturday and we actually made out the Premier League coach Ricky fall off his chair. I think he was enjoying my dancing too much.
Oh dear.
Now, who copped the most fines on the team? And what was the weirdest fine that anyone got?
Oh.
I would say Tully probably got the most fines in Div 2. Agreed?
Yeah. I was going to say Tully was my first instinct.
I think that probably the poor. Okay, I'm going to fess up. I didn't know what a minor premiere was, and some other girls didn't either. Got it. Like, yeah. Congratulations for being a minor premiere. It's probably because I've never known one. So.
I mean, I'm going to do a poor vegetarian, but I'm going to own my mistake. I got a fine for getting too drunk and eating the person next to me's meat at the ball off their plate. I had my vegetarian meal in front of me and I ate her meat. So,
well, it's at the most fine dining restaurant in Darwin, so I don't blame you.
That's the first time I'm hearing that one, and that's a classic.
That's wow.
That was definitely my best
That's
one.
a big day.
There have been some pretty good finds though. I think I got one for turning up to bowling and bowling wasn't happening.
There was no bowling anymore, that's right. You rocked up to
I was
bowling.
like, oh, hey guys, where are you? I rocked up to this, like, the bowling, and there was like this big party, like, are you part of this? I was like, oh, I think so. And they're like, it's a private function. I was like, oh, this is a bit fancy. They've had the whole bowling, and then they're like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, I said my name. And they said, sorry, this is private. Like, I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's a good one, Missy. I feel like reading it.
I remember that one because I got a text. Guys, are you? And I was like, crap, I forgot to tell Missy they didn't go there.
Oh,
Yeah, Oi, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having all five of you on the show. From all of us here at Smash FM, congratulations on the premiership. Well deserved. And can't wait to see what happens in the 21-22 season as you try to defend that premiership, of course, next season.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much,
Thank you for
Will.
having us.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank
No.
Bye,
you.
thanks, Will.
No worries. And that's the PINT women's DV2 premiership team, of course, for 4 premierships that was won by the club on the day throughout the season. If you want to get involved with that club, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about supporting the Mighty PINT team in 2021-22 season. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away.